The drums of Africa beat in my soul, and they will never be still until every Negro, boy, and girl in America has a chance to learn and grow. Mary McLeod Bethune. The First Lady of the Struggle, Mary McLeod Bethune's Legacy and Life, by Abby Peters. Mary McLeod Bethune is one of the most influential female civil rights activists because of her triumphant leadership skills that brought young women into the education system, inspiring those after her to stand up for their rights to education, medical care, and prime jobs. Mary's parents worked as cotton pickers and ranch handlers for their ex-master's farm. They worked to save up to purchase enough land to start their own farming business. Mary McLeod Bethune was born on July 10, 1875, to Samuel and Patsy McLeod. She was the 15th child and first child to not be born into slavery. Mary's parents finally saved up enough money to buy a couple of acres of land. They built a 2-bedroom house, and the family of 19 lived and worked on that land. When Mary was 8, a local church opened up a school for colored children. She convinced her parents to let her go. She only attended the school for 2 months due to it being shut down for the safety of the staff and students. After attending that school for 2 months, Mary realized that she wanted and needed to be educated, so she would go with her grandmother every day to their ex-master's main house to help her grandmother with housekeeping and to read and practice her writing with the books they had in their house. That is where most of Mary's education came from. Mary was a very religious person. She went to church every Sunday and made it a point for her students to grow in their faith along with their education. Mary married Albertus Bethune in 1898. They had a child and they named him Albert Bethune. In 1907, Albertus decided to leave the family. After he left, his family never saw him again. Mary triumphantly overcame the departure of her husband by beginning her teaching career. Before Mary started her school, she worked as an elementary school teacher across the state of Florida. Mary's school started with just 5 students who used boxes for desks, and the whole class shared 1 textbook. Mary used her faith in God and her leadership skills to make a school that was set to fail successful.
Negro youth is offered only 1/15 of the educational opportunity of the average American child.
Bethune's collaboration with Eleanor and Booker T. Roosevelt, Lyman B. Huntington, Dorothy Irene High, Harry S. Truman, and Duke University helped to fund and grow her school and name. Once her school had grown to over 250 students, she later combined with the Cookman School for Boys. The Boys and Girls School later morphed into the Bethune-Cookman College. After her school morphed into a college, Mary had more time to begin focusing on her own personal civil rights movements. In 1911, Mary opened the first hospital in Daytona Beach dedicated to the care and education of colored people, which offered sanctuary to the sick in a racially segregated town. Her hospital today has grown and expanded and still provides care for all people in their heart and vascular, cancer, surgery, orthopedic, and children departments of the hospital. In 1924, Mary became the president of the National Association of the Colored Women's Club, which mainly worked to find ways to get all women of all race to the voting stands.
Democracy is for me and for 12 million black Americans a goal toward which our nation is marching.
That year, Native American women were given the right to vote, even though African American women and other people of color worked just as hard to gain their right to vote. After 5 years of planning and fundraising, in 1935, she, along with other female civil rights leaders, founded the National Council of Negro Women. The National Council of Negro Women's goal was to unify African American women to improve race relationships in America and abroad. Mary became a special advisor to Theodore Roosevelt in 1935. Along with her friendship to Theodore, she also befriended Eleanor Roosevelt. Mary used her voice to express her views and make an impact on those she spoke to. In 1943, Mary stepped down from the administration role of Cookman College. She did this so she could focus on her role as a civil rights activist. After she stepped down from her role as an administrative director at Cookman College, she moved into the National Council of Negro Women's headquarters. Many of the other female civil rights activists lived here too. This is the house today. Mary was sent to Libya to serve as a delegate for the National Defense Committee in 1950. Mary died on May 18, 1955, due to a sudden heart attack. Mary used her life to advance the rights and opportunities of colored people of America. She fought for their right to education, medical care, and freedom to speak their views.
Under God's guidance in this great democracy, we are rising out of the darkness of slavery into the light of freedom.
Mary's legacy is still remembered today. She inspires young women and people of color to do what they are passionate about no matter what. After Mary's death, a statue of her was built in Daytona Beach to honor her legacy in the town. Bethune is one of the most influential female civil rights activists because of her triumphant leadership skills that brought young women into the education system, inspiring those after her to stand up for their rights to education, medical care, and prime jobs.